Hello, friends. Welcome again to another edition of Wheel of Albums. Along with my brother Adam and our friend Jack, I'm Justin. What we do here on Wheel of Albums is we spin a wheel of the 1001 albums you must hear before you die from Robert Diamond's book. Then we take a listen to that album for the week and then get together and discuss the high points, low points, and everything in between and decide if it's an album you must hear before you die, like house party music from the early 90s, the KLF, and The White Room. That's what Jack spun, number 20 on our podcast. We're justified and we're ancient. Here we go. So here we are, album number 20 on the wheel, spun by Jack. So yeah, a few of these singles got a lot of play on the radio back in the early 90s. As far as a full album being on the wheel, I'm a bit surprised, probably because as far as the full album goes, this was never a big deal here in the United States. I guess shame on me for lumping them in with Snaps. I've Got the Power.
KLF, The White Room, thought it was that Justified and Ancient song that Tammy Wynette sang on back in early 90s. Another one that I'm not looking forward to, but I will listen to. A lot of people don't know this. KLF is Kicking Little Frogs. I can't get behind that.
The initial reaction to the KLF, The White Room, was, all right, we get to listen to You're Gonna Make Me Sweat. Oh, wait, that's CNC Music Factory. The KLF, we haven't had dance music yet, so let's try it out. See what it's got.
Everything sounds like a goal's been scored at a hockey game, and you're excited for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then it's time to sit back down in your seat, except no one told the KLF. They just keep going and going and going. 3 minutes, 9 minutes, who cares? Because they're not doing anything.
So are you going to the church of the KLF? Two of the big singles on here that were top 11 hits in the United States. I guess 3 AM Eternal would make me dance in the church of the KLF out of these two songs, but Justified and Ancient would definitely make me go up and sing with the choir. We're justified and we're ancient.
I'm going to have to say it's Justified and Ancient, but what's getting me through the door and keeping me a member of the congregation on Saturday nights at the church of the KLF is What Time Is Love, because that song does nothing but pump me up and get me ready to rave. I like the fact on The White Room too that each song's got its own little thing. I mean, it's got that driving dance force to it.
They're all catchy momentarily.
Each one kind of makes you feel or move just a little bit differently, which would keep the party going if you're a Saturday night rave.
And they're all interesting momentarily in my mind.
You know, the KLF may not have been able to draw in huge crowds like they did in the UK here in the United States in 1991 around the time of the White Room. But let's just imagine for one moment that they could. The spot where everyone came together was Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Adam, Jack, what are you bringing for your apparel to the greatest rave that Three Rivers Stadium has ever seen?
Apparently we have an outbreak of stadium rave fever in the U.S. I don't know what to take. In the late 80s, early 90s, there were these long plastic horns that you could buy at toy stores for $1, and you could take them to hockey games and blow them. I'd probably take that.
We got to get ready to go. Got to get our rave on. What are we going to do? I know what Justin's doing. He's putting skids on.
Damn straight, Adam. Along with a Quebec Nordiques hockey jersey and not a Union Jack bucket hat. Maybe a few glow sticks.
Me? What I'm doing? I'm getting a fanny pack, throwing my friendship bracelets on. I'm going to get some fat pants. That's P-H-A-T, by the way. Fat pants. You know, I'm ready to go. I think I'm going to get maybe a cool visor.
I don't know, maybe like a tube of Desitin or something in case I got rave rash.
Safety always first on that last train to Transcentral.
Throw some sunglasses on, and then I'm going to fill my fanny pack up with some Jolly Ranchers. Got to have some fruit in your mouth. That dance on. First, I'm going to stop down by the river and pee because of shy bladder.
Now, I know we're all pumped for the rave here and ready to go. We throw in the cassette of the White Room on the way through Fort Pitt Tunnel. Half the songs on here I had heard at one point or another. Listening to the White Room for the first time all the way through, though, some gaps in some music that I am not particularly fond of. And we listened to the American release too, because I don't know why we'd be listening to the UK release. While the first half of this album holds up fine, Once you get to the second half of the album, man, do I get bored. Build a Fire, The White Room, No More Tears. It's just a big no to me. It feels like filler. I get that this is rave music and sometimes you don't need to have much substance to it, but those 3 songs are big stinkers to me. And then at the end, they decide to put on one of the best songs. I don't know why Tammy Wynette's not on the album on what we're listening to, but still, Justified and Ancient. What a great ending.
The KLF or the JAMMs or whatever they change their name to on a routine basis, the Time Lords. What Time Is Love and 3 a.m. Eternal are both, for short periods of time, very enjoyable to me. So they will get my highest rank. No More Tears is not the Ozzy Osbourne song. That will get my lowest rank.
I'm going to say the entire thing's a highlight except for the song Build a Fire. I think every other song propelled the album forward, and then it really, crescendos and finishes strong with Justified and Ancient. Be honest, first time I listened to it, I was out mowing the grass, and it got me moving, man.
As far as we know, this is the KLF's last release. But what a way to go out.
Apparently the KLF went out with a bold performance.
The KLF both burned bridges and made a very smart press move, all in the same night at the Brit Awards. You could imagine that they probably made a lot of people mad in the music industry.
Apparently they had disdain for because they purposefully just created a hit and they couldn't believe that could happen.
But at the same time, what better way to promote a new album than using inflatable dead sheep
and firing blanks into the crowd.
And that you could manufacture hits. And they did just that.
I mean, fans of the band all found this rebellious, but 2 guys from the KLF, Drummond and Katie, were both veterans in the music industry. So I guess showing your old boss what it's worth is kind of cool. But the whole sheep thing, I still think that's still, a kind of overused thing, even back in the 90s. But I guess maybe it was the KLF who invented the "you're all sheep" type of sentiment.
It was burning a bridge, but they would just change their name again. I'm sure they're still putting out stuff, just secretly. We don't even know. They're underneath the makeup playing Ace Frehley for all we know. Tommy Thayer, arrange the letters. It's all there, baby. Aliens. It's aliens, man.
Make the dead sheep rain.
Okay, so the White Room, our scores. Me and Adam scored exactly the same. We gave the White Room a 5.33 on a scale of 1 to 10. Jack a 4.22 for an average rating of 4.96. And our 3 favorite songs, Justified and Ancient, 3 a.m. Eternal, tied at the top. Last Train to Trans Central, also running out our top 3. And our least favorite song on the White Room is Build a Fire. Is the White Room something you must hear before you die? Well, it was great to go back and listen to What Time Is Love and Justified and Ancient, 3 a.m. Eternal again. But as a whole, this album did not do it for me. I would say your best advice would be take those songs, put them next to, like Adam said, CNC Music Factory, and maybe some Utah Saints, maybe some Snap I Got the Power, and give that special mixtape to somebody you love. Adam, what do you think?
I'm going to say no, although it may be one of my favorite dance albums I've ever heard. I don't know if necessarily you need to hear it because there might be some better dance music out there. But if I'm going to a stadium rave, I'm perfectly happy with hearing the White Room every Saturday night.
Must you stadium rave before you die? I think you can get by without listening to this one. But because I admire what they're doing as performance art, I've done a remix of why you should or shouldn't listen to the KLF, the White Room. No, do not listen. KLF, White Room. No. So that is a no from me. Short answer. No, you must not listen to the KLF, the White Room, before you die.
All right, well, sorry to the KLF. We did not think this was something you needed to hear before you die. But we want to say thank you for listening to see what we thought of KLF, the White Room. Hey, if you are watching on YouTube, why don't you subscribe? We have a new episode just about every Monday, and the same on Spotify. Give us a rating, vote on our poll, and if you got a comment on an album that you listening to, or you kind of like what we're doing here on this podcast, we'd love to hear from you. All right, I've got the wheel next. Let's give it a spin. Lucky 21, spinning the wheel, spin the wheel. Do. What do we got? Leonard Skinnerd, pronounced, I hope I get this right, Leonard Skinnerd. Next time on Wheel of Albums. See you then.
What you talking about, Three Rivers Stadium? When the KLF comes to town and they take over your stadium, it's now going to be called Three Ravers Stadium. Ooh, ooh.